Good morning, everyone. Sorry about the delay. I think we'll still have more participants joining in. I'm Sharnita and I work with the Jobs for Her team. HerTech is an exclusive online platform powered by Jobs for Her for women in technology across the globe, offering opportunities to upskill, take challenges, network, search for jobs, and explore resources for career growth. Women professionals can also get access to courses, webinars, and masterclasses in various technological skills. Join exclusive virtual meetups with other women in technology, as well as apply for tech jobs at top companies all through HerTech. In the post COVID world, businesses have moved their processes online and continued working remotely. To facilitate this move, cloud transformation services have had to step up their game and be agile. This is why we have a masterclass, The Big Picture How to Stay Relevant with Cloud Transformation with Anita Alexander, Senior Director for Technology, Wabtec Corporation. I take this opportunity to introduce Anita Alexander, a global leader with experience spearheading the company's software engineering and cloud transformation journey. She is a Her Rising Award winner for Women in Technology and also a member of Executive Leadership Community and handpicked for innovation, exemplary impact in short duration for 2 years in a row. Trailblazer with courage to reimagine, visionary with self confidence to turn strategic vision to reality. Nimble to adapt quickly, curious learner, fueling business through technology. Currently leading the largest execution in the integration of GE Transportation and Wabtec Corporation. Prior to this, she was with established digital blueprint aligned to the company's business for the largest greenfield project in the region. Pioneer in building the company's first in-house software team for information technology, built and directed large organization delivering innovative technology solutions. Please keep yourself muted and we'll take questions after the session. Over to you, Anita.
Thank you, Sharnita. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me over. It's an absolute delight to speak to you today. Before we get started, I want to wish and hope that all of you and your dear ones are safe. Please take care so we can see this pandemic through together. And with that, I'm going to quickly share my screen. I hope I have the privilege now. Yes, I do. So let's get started. So weaving the introduction that Sharnita provided to the context behind my passion for cloud transformation, currently I direct the Application Factory program, which is a centralized capability for Wabtec Corporation to transition business critical applications from the GE hosted environments to Wabtec. We have approached this opportunity with a cloud first mindset, bearing in mind the time constraints to exit the TSA that we have with GE, migrating applications with minimal business disruption, protecting intellectual property, and preserving service levels. We established this program in June last year. What you see here is the paper clipping that came out in November when we formally kicked off. A year now from when we started, from my experience, I can tell you that the computing power, the elasticity, and the wealth of tools and services that cloud offers is a boon. And as we established this particular contract, we did hackathon style pilots with top players. And I can tell you the enrichment of knowledge and just the visibility to the kind of wealth that we have in those areas got me so thrilled that I continue to take this as my job after I completed my executive leadership program. Clearly, there is so much more that enterprises can tap on, even beyond what is obviously achieved today. With that, let's now deep dive into our topic with a quick quiz. Can any of you guess the streaming leader referenced to in this news clipping that was published in April 2020? If anyone can unmute and take a guess. Okay, so let's see. Yes, it is Netflix, and I'm sure we are all, really glued to Netflix in some form or the other. Supporting such user base globally, just see the numbers out there. To globally scale, this is a true demonstration of ability to add thousands of servers and petabytes of storage within minutes. Now, let us go a few years back in history to see how this transformation came about to be. These are again all news clippings. In 2008, Netflix was running its operations out of its own traditional data center when a failure caused them to stop DVD shipments for days, which got them to rethink their strategy to be a world-class data center operations team. Again, finding advantage in adversity, they moved to the public cloud, gaining a competitive edge. In 2016, as you can see here, Netflix launched the service in more than 130 countries. And more than ever, we can now appreciate the vision and the investment in this transformation, which is paying off. You just have to go look at their stocks. Okay, if that wasn't compelling enough to see why cloud is an in thing, here is the wow display. An interesting mix of enterprises and startups who today are unleashing the power of cloud. This is an eye chart. That said, let's see what cloud transformation is all about. Cloud transformation results in an organization that can execute at a higher rate of speed and constantly improve. To stick to our topic, let's look at key stages to enterprise cloud transformation and the opportunities it holds for both the enterprise as well as the workforce, that is all of us. The first one is application transformation. Cloud is considerably more highly distributed, scalable, and resilient. Scalability, availability, and dynamic upgrades are addressed here. For enterprises in the transformation journey, the application transformation is branched to lift and shift, where web-enabled apps are hosted on cloud, partial refactoring, where elements of the application stack are moved to the cloud, and refactoring, where application is written on the cloud to draw the benefits of being a native. The second stage is the infrastructure transformation. Cloud computing breaks the legacy hub and spoke model, legacy network that constrains growing traffic. It also requires expensive MPLS setups and hops that degrades user experience. With broadband internet connections getting considerably cost effective, software-defined networking, SDN, capabilities that recognize the traffic destination and route it to the corporate data center or out of the internet are levers that one cannot miss. The third is security transformation. Just a quick pulse. Are my screens displaying all right?
Yes, Anita, go on.
Okay, perfect. Replacing the heavy network security hardware stack, the cloud-based inline security checkposts uses a granular policy engine that can enforce each user's access to each application. In an SDN-enabled zero trust environment, the corporate applications are discoverable only to authorized users. So people who started their career in the 90s, 2000s, can really see the difference to what we have in 2020, even if you were to connect to the corporate network anywhere remotely. So attributed to all these great advancements we've had. Now, here is, okay. Here is a glimpse of proven business transformations across enterprises that have invested upfront in the cloud. As you all know, AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform provide infrastructure and platforms as a service, along with tools and services around migration. So everything that you're seeing here in terms of business transformation are truly realized values coming out of cloud transformation. The need of the hour is to power business efficiency with technology, yielding higher enterprise productivity. Now that we have seen why cloud transformation, a big picture view of what it is for an enterprise and the benefits thereof, we will switch gears to talk about the workforce. Before we go to the workforce that we have today and how it's going to shape, let's first look at a few forces that are in action shaping the future of workforce. Post-COVID, there will be a very strong focus on building business resilience. Anticipate business overhauls, and technology will be the biggest disruptive force because the job of a salesman is going to be very different. Though the core and crux remains the same, how the job is conducted is going to be very, very different. Personalization, insights-driven decisions across all aspects of life and work are going to shape how we work going forward. Democratization of data and application development. Many of us would know the two emerging trends, the rise of low-code development platforms and tools that make data visualization accessible to the users are putting the power of IT computing into the hands of the users. Compelling benefits of gig economy, success of purpose-driven, mission-based teams that's tapping onto multidisciplinary and cross-functional talent, the fresh perspectives with more digital natives entering the workforce, rise in demand for domain experts and boutique firms that specialize in specific industries, connected devices, cloud, automation, and now to top it all, the need to remain virtually well connected and effective with remote working. If there's one key takeaway here, repeatable and monotonic roles will fall to the wayside. Specialist, multidisciplinary, cross-functional skills will gain more prominence. In this light, let's glimpse through the talent ecosystem behind the cloud transformation and how the roles have a greater potential to evolve to what the future state demands. What you see here are indicative roles, not particular to any company and not exhaustive. This is intended to give you an idea of the roles of significance across early, mid, and senior career stages. I have intentionally focused on technical roles here. Again, this is an eye chart. I will share this material and you can go over these when you can. And as you can see, I have only indicated the roles, not the titles, which is what will a person do in the role, because titles can vary from a company to another company and titles really don't matter. What matters is what do we do in that role. I'm going to give you a minute to just observe this. And as you can see, the roles go back to one purpose: establishing secure, managed, appropriately networked ecosystem to make the transformation effective, faster, and sustainable. And the boundaries are blurring between disciplines, and progression is not just vertical growth. Diversity of skills can be accomplished by right skilling and in many cases, unlearning and learning. You might also observe that there are roles that require specialization, strategy, creativity, empathy, collaboration. So what is the message here? These roles are significant today and will continue to evolve in interesting ways to what the future has in hold. Now let's bring this all together. The roles we have today are the best opportunities at hand to prepare ourselves and our organizations for the future. A few skills that every individual should focus on if they are applying into these roles, or if they're already in one such role and they want to advance their role, are as follows. We'll first look at the technical aspect of it. Technically, database querying language and a platform is a must. So it could be anything. SQL, MySQL, MongoDB, Hadoop, depends on what your passion is or where you want to go. But this is an important skill. And how much you specialize or how much you want to tenure yourselves in this depends on your passion and which is the destination role that you're targeting. We'll talk about that in a bit. Programming languages, again, we predominantly use Java and .NET. They continue to be popular in our space given the legacy. Perl, Python, and Ruby are also on the rise. DevOps, automation skills. This is a boon. Scalar, Jenkins, Chef, Kubernetes, Docker, the cloud tooling, the entire array of cloud tooling, the several tools for cloud management, security, cost control, operations, cloud log management, alerting and monitoring. That is an area that is where creativity really pays off. Infrastructure, professionals with skills to architect, design, build, administer, and maintain servers in the cloud environment are in high demand. Identity and access management, asset security, and secure engineering practices. Quality assurance again. Traditionally, the way quality assurance was conducted to how it's shaping with automation, penetration testing, load testing, all of these will continue to evolve. There are many sought after certifications in the cloud computing world for infrastructure, security, and development. I'm not being prescriptive here because again, it purely depends on the passion and where you want to take your career, but they are worth investing. Now, added to this, we need to develop the following. Domain specialization, it could be technical, industrial, or both. Developing business acumen, this I would say is the topmost need because the closer you are to the customer, the stronger you are. Practicing communication and social skills, investing in multidisciplinary skills, being nimble and adaptive in execution because of the uncertainties that we are having to deal with, leading by influence and not by authority, and to top it all, pursuing mindful efforts to right skill and change course. If you overlay this against the forces shaping the future of workforce, which we just looked, you will know that you have tailwinds to advance your career being in technology at this time and age, where technology has transcended all walks of our life and work and anything beyond. I am a strong believer that roles evolve based on the capability of people. So each of us play a significant role on how the future shapes up. It is not the other way around. We don't adapt to how the future is shaping up. We shape the future. Right? So we need to then look at how we own it and take it forward. So the roles, tools, and processes are evolving in a very interesting way. And here is our opportunity to make that work for us. Now you would go, okay, technology advancements are so fast-paced that it is tough to keep up. At the same time, there is never going to be the right time to pause and make decisions. So how do we stay relevant? So here are my thoughts. Know where your passion lies, because that is where your goal is. And that is the fuel. The passion is the fuel that will propel you towards your goal. Now, once you know that, define your trajectory to that goal. Mindfully right skill to propel in that trajectory. measure and course correct. It is the nimble and the adaptive that thrive in this world, which is so fast paced. The most important piece that I would leave here with is specialization. You have to be the thinking talent in your domain. And this is my mantra to stay relevant. These are some of the questions that I keep asking myself. Am I resisting change? Am I getting fossilized? And today, the way I'm preventing this from happening is I take a lot of reverse mentoring. I have smart interns in my team. I have smart colleagues in my company who help me learn what I don't know and unlearn what I should unlearn. Am I resisting change? Why does something seem so difficult? Am I quitting without trying? Now, there is always a possibility that we say, hey, you know what? I've defined a super trajectory, but the roles I get never fit into that trajectory. And the job markets don't have roles that I need. That's fine, right? I find my one excuse, if not many, to develop skills to put me on my trajectory and stay true to it. Am I doing my role in a way that people will come after me for their next grand opportunity? Because I strongly believe when we leave a grand signature in every role we play, the next big role automatically follows you. So with that, all the very best to all participants. I would like to open it up for interactions and just not keep this one way. Very happy to hear your thoughts and questions. Sanita, over to you.
Yeah, we already have a few questions on the chat window. How do I approach cloud transformation as a career if I don't have experience in storage? Hi, Anita.
I'm just trying to see who asked this question, if there's a name. Namrata.
Yeah.
Perfect. So Namrata, it doesn't really matter because as you see, cloud transformation is not just about storage. It has various wings to it. Now, if storage is where you want to get your destination pinned up, you can get into the stream through the various other opportunities. So depending on what you're doing today and how it can take you to any of those roles that we just discussed, right? That is a good segue to enter into this ecosystem. And for all you know, once you enter into this ecosystem, you will realize that cloud is much more bigger than just storage or even computing, right? There are so many tools, there are so many services, and it is still evolving. So my thought would be, Namrata, to start where you are and really see how you can plug into that ecosystem. What looks to be your entry point into that big world of opportunities? And then from there, if storage is your target, then you work your way through it.
Yes, the next question is from Akshata Nayak. She is doing a VMware certification. What are the roles one can look at, as this is a new field for me? What other skills may be required apart from VMware certification?
So, Akshata, I would, kind of turn this question around a little to understand why you chose VMware certification. Because, in my opinion, this is I'm not debating why you should or should not do it, right? But any certifications that we choose have to have a purpose behind it, right? So if you wanted to be an expert in the VMware space, right, I would rather, kind of start looking at what are the current trends in that specific um, domain, and how do I kind of start getting my hands on. Today, if you see, if your current role is not offering you those opportunities, there are opportunities for you to do lab courses to begin with, right? Because a certification alone will not take you where you want to go. So there are different various lab courses that help you plug your skill to the bigger ecosystem. Because a skill by itself can only be a skill, right? It cannot get you to a specialization. If you want to specialize, you need to understand how you're going to plug this one into what you're either currently doing, or what is your destination future role and how do you kind of get there, right? So then my advice in short would be, certification is good. I don't think you have to go and look for more certifications. The skill that you have to develop is putting this into practice, either in your current role or in any lab setup. So that way you can start understanding how this plugs into the ecosystem, and then you go from there, right? The field could be new to you, but your destination is with you.
We have another one
Bhavna,
from Bhavna. She wants to
would an
know how.
individual's detail, okay, sorry. Yeah, I'm reading that through.
Yes,
Would an individual's detail like Aadhaar card, etc., be considered secured if stored on cloud? That's a very good question. So there is enough governance and policies in place, Bhavana, to ensure that personal identification information, the PII, are protected, and there are enough audits in place. So this is an entire organization in itself. If you look at the roles and responsibilities that I had kind of laid down, the entire risk, governance, and protection of data is a discipline in itself. And it has wealth of opportunities for people who are pursuing those streams. But to answer your question, yes, they are protected. They're protected by country, by region, and so on and so forth. The structure is in place.
the
Are there
next
any QA opportunities in relation to VMware certification, as I have mainframe testing background? So this goes back to the same question we had earlier, right? Opportunities don't evolve just based on a certification. Opportunities evolve based on the skills that we need um, for a particular role that the company desires to fill, right? So my advice again here would be, if QA is your target, right? Quality assurance has multiple disciplines even within it. So when I was talking about the multidisciplinary, that was exactly what I was trying to say, because gone are the days when we just piecemeal the work and say, okay, this person can only do this, so we're going to give this to this this person. That's gone, right? So the way I would kind of think about this is, if you want to be an excellent quality assurance engineer, then target for that, and VMware certification alone will not help you get there. How can I upskill in cloud transformation to look for a better job? Sure. So Ramya, as we kind of looked at the various aspects, one of the things that I would again emphasize is, know what you want to do within this ecosystem, because it's a very vast ecosystem. We can very easily shoot in the dark saying, okay, I will do probably a certificate with a cloud service provider. I will also do a certification with one of the tools provider, and then I will get some hands-on experience on some of the SaaS software, right? But that will not all come together, right? The way I would approach this, rather, as I had alluded to previously, is, if you want to be in the cloud transformation as a key player, and let's assume that you want to be a cloud architect, right? Then you really need to understand all the three elements around application, the infrastructure, and security. And then you have to really see, how do you bring them all together? So if you have to bring them all together, how deeper do you have to understand application network and security? So for example, if you're coming from an application background, then naturally you will gravitate towards it, right? So because that is your strength. So then you have to kind of, on a scale of 1 to 10, understand, how much do I have to reskill in the application space for me to be hold that as my strong fortress? And then how much do I really need to invest to understand the security aspects around the infrastructure, the tooling aspects around infrastructure, right? How do I kind of secure this application from a cyber security standpoint, right? So that is how you will first anchor where you want to grow stronger. So if you're in an early career stages, I'm so glad that you're thinking about it now, because you can see where your passion lies. Application, then you anchor your roles in application, you learn more. But as you're learning, understand that ecosystem. be very curious to see why this has to connect with something else. Why are we doing something in a particular fashion, right? And then that will help you grow. If as I mentioned, hypothetically, if becoming a cloud architect is your target, then you start as a systems engineer, right? Or you can um, start as somebody that's an application software engineer. You can also start as a DevOps engineer, right? Any of these. That's the beauty of the cloud ecosystem, because once you're in that, your curiosity can take you wherever you want to go. The boundaries are not so hardly defined that you cannot break and come out, right? You can grow vertically, you can grow sideways too, right? But get your first role in, anchor it, and be very, very curious. And then be very intentional about how you're upskilling yourselves, what kind of soft skills you're developing, and how you're getting towards your target. There, okay, I see. How cloud transformation could benefit fresher in doing jobs or getting some training? That's a wonderful question, Kanika, because if you are a fresher, I think you are at a landscape where you can really unleash a lot, because you have to only learn. You don't have to unlearn and learn like me, right? So the way I would think about it, if you're pursuing a career in cloud transformation, that is one of the richest areas, no doubt, right? Uh, you have to kind of really ensure that you are hands on, because one of the things that we see is when people enter workforce, we are all hands on and we really are curious, and down the lane it withers and fades away, right? You have an opportunity to change that brand for us. That's the reason I think freshers have a very bright opportunity to kind of get in to their roles and really be curious about how they do things, pretty much getting their hands dirty, right? Even if in some cases the roles don't demand. For example, if you're getting into a role that is a quality assurance role and you're only required of doing manual testing, that's still a role that is available, and it's a rich role, right? However, don't stop with that. Ensure that you're bringing in improvements. You're scripting some of your test scenarios. You're scripting some of your um, dashboards where you're producing results. That in itself is a small step for you to kind of start getting your hands dirty. So what I would say is, one, for freshers, there is a lot of opportunities. Trainings are available, both free as well as paid trainings. I would start with free trainings to begin with, so that you really understand, because the topic alone will not give you what holds within. So you will have to get started to understand, get started in understanding what that particular technology or tool or service offers. And then if that is truly your passion, then switch over or upgrade to paid trainings. Ensure that you have hands-on assignments and you're competing in an area where there are similar talent, uh, producing results through these labs, because that is where you start developing that sense of collaboration as well as a good competitive edge. How can a fresher come into the sector? Will certifications do justice? Yeah, I think I just answered that as a part of Kanika's question. I've heard that an engineering mindset is important for cloud transformation. How do I go about developing that? So if you keep aside the engineering degree, I think all of us have an engineering mindset. Um, so I wouldn't, just tie that to a certificate if that was the question all about. But Rakshita, what I would suggest is you have to look into the details of what you want to solve for. That is the mindset that we need, because you can have n number of technologies, you can have many fancy portals, you can have tools that are really cool, but if they don't solve what we are uh, trying to solve, the business purpose, then they are of no use, right? So the way I would approach this, truly to be successful in an enterprise, is one, understand what is it that you're solving, who are you solving for, and how will this person know that it is solved? What is success for that particular person, right? So for example, if you're trying to create an assortment of goodies for a salesman who is going to different parts of the country, right, you need to first understand the areas that this particular person goes to, the dynamics in those spaces, what's the consumer behavior there, and then you have to kind of create those assortments. A very simple example. Similarly, if you're joining a company, if you're a fresher or anywhere within your career, and you're taking a role change or you're getting into a new venture, you need to understand what is the big problem that you're trying to solve, and how do you kind of break it into smaller chunks, and then look at what each small chunk will look like once it's solved. What is the success, right? That is the mindset that I would think we need.
I have one question on my chat window from Ramya. How important is it for me to learn about cloud transformation? I'm in the sales service industry.
That's a fantastic question, and that is where Ramya, the point that I was mentioning earlier about application and data democratization is a big play, because today the sales as well as the services industry really do not want to be giving their requirements endlessly to a back-end team who is developing dashboards for them for two reasons, right? One, they know their customers really, really well. Two, the requirements keep changing, right? It keeps changing by the minute, if not by the hour, right? So that's the dynamism of the world that we are living in. So with cloud transformation, three things that you need to know, right? This particular transformation in itself is an opportunity for anybody that's non-technical to get closer to what the data says. What is the insight that the data provides? Two, they can also depict this data in different models that they want. So whatever you used to do earlier through Excels, right? You take data from somebody and then you kind of create different models through Excel. All of those can happen on the fly in this ecosystem, right? The third is they're all very fast. They don't take days to turn around. If we look at Tableau or any of those visualization tools, and even certain tools that get data science closer to the end users, you can unleash all these three potential. That was a wonderful question. Thank you.
We have another question from Shrishti. What skills are required to excel in this field?
I would refer back to the skills that I have shared within the session today, Srishti. So one, I've spoken both about the technical as well as the beyond technical, the soft, we call those soft skills, right? But they're beyond soft skills too, right? Those are the skills that we certainly need to develop to excel in this field. So I'll be sharing the material and you can reference those.
I'm just looking if we missed out on. I'm just looking if we have missed out on any
questions. Sure, no worries.
I think we've answered all of it. Let's give it a minute, Anita, to see if we have more questions, and then we can wrap it up.
Perfect.
Hi, this is Pushpa here.
Yes, Pushpa, go on.
Hey, thank you so much, Anita, for this wonderful session. It really helped us and how one can look at this, their own passion and what else they have to pursue in their career if they have to move towards the cloud transformation, which is everywhere we are seeing right now in the organizations. Everywhere we are looking at the cloud transformation in every field. So I was working with Anita and she's been a true leader for us, and I have always looked upon her, and she's been a role model for my current, whatever I'm doing right now. I've always looked for her, and thank you so much for this session, Anita.
Yeah, thanks, Pushpa. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, I don't see more questions, Anita. So thanks for engaging with thought leaders and other women in tech on how cloud transformation has changed the face of IT infrastructure and the role women technologists can play in the big picture. Thank you so much. And I would also like to thank all of you for having attended this masterclass. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me over, Sharnita. Thank you, everybody. Wishing you the very best. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anita.